this thing working. It's been a while. Getting back into vlogging. It's been, oh gosh, I guess it's been about a little over a year since I did a vlog, and that was over on the Honoring Legacies channel. Why am I starting the vlog over? Well, I went in a million different directions this past year and decided that I didn't know exactly why I was doing the vlog, so I decided I would give it a break. And then the more I got to thinking about it over this past year, the more I realized, if I spend a bunch of time doing other people's stories, I'm going to miss out on the opportunity to do my own family's stories. And I definitely don't want to attempt to do this type of vlogging thing every single day. Certainly not. I can't do that. I do know that I want to do a lot of things with this. First of all, I want to have fun. I want to do kind of a family video diary. We've got a lot coming up, just 20-something months away, and I realized that it would be kind of fun to have at least a weekly vlog of what's going on in our family and just talk, maybe 10 minutes a week, depending on how much there is to talk about, and just cover those things that are going on in our lives. As Jill and I were thinking about this, we thought about this a number of years ago. In fact, before we even had kids, we realized that we have our 25th wedding anniversary. That same year, Jill will turn 50 and I will turn 50. So that'll be the year of our 25th wedding anniversary. After all the kids have been born, we came back to that same thought and we realized not only will that be the year that we both turn 50 and have our 25th wedding anniversary, but it will also be the year that our youngest, Benjamin, turns 15, our boy Brian will turn 18, and our boy Zachary will turn 21. He just turned 18 this year. In fact, the very first vlog I ever did, I believe, was on his 16th birthday. And so, I'd had big hopes that I was going to do a lot of vlogs, and I'm realizing now that I just need to have a system, a schedule that I can actually do. I had gotten into the crazy idea that maybe there was some way I could do the daily vlog type thing. And unless you're a professional or independently wealthy or incredibly driven beyond what's normal for most people, a daily vlog is just not possible. And I found for myself it definitely was not possible. In this vlog, I'll show a little bit here of what I did with my office here and where so much has happened in this past year. My desk was covered in ideas of things that I want to do for this vlog, for Honoring Legacies, for podcasting, things that we're getting into now. Podcasting, we're finding, is a whole lot of fun, much easier to produce than most video things. Podcasting in and of itself is typically just a audio production, but we've decided that since we have the gear, we'll go ahead and do video as well and just have fun with that. Will there be people that want to watch this stuff? I don't know. I am realizing that that's not really the most important thing to me. I like the idea of sharing with a community like YouTube. I like the idea of sharing with a community of creators, but I really think that the most important audience for a diary vlog type thing like this, I want to share some of my heart, but I don't want to share all the nitty gritty. That will be saved for my close friends and my adult children when they're at that age where it makes sense to share those things with them. I may do some private recordings where I record some of those deeper things just to pass on to my kids. Some things of only to be shared when I'm no longer here. Not that there's any deep, dark secrets or anything. There aren't. But, there's stuff about myself, about my family, about our history that I think it's important for adults to know, both good and not so good, that will help them to, navigate their own future. So this past year, we have had some huge changes. As you can probably tell, if you've seen the last vlog that I did a year ago, this office, while it's set up very similar, it is not the same room that I was in before. We moved to a new house. We bought a place that has quite a bit more space, so all the boys have their own bedrooms now. That's the first time they've ever been able to do that. They all have a lot more space. We've got an upstairs and a downstairs, and we have an office that I'm able to use, and we even have a spare bedroom that we're able to use as a podcasting studio. If you see any of the videos of our podcast, that's here in this same house. And golly, we're having so much fun with that. I didn't realize how many people are far more comfortable to sit down, put on a pair of headphones, and talk into a microphone with another person across the table and just ignore that the cameras are there, and the conversation is so much more genuine. It's so much more... People tend to put on less of their camera face or their radio voice or whatever it is, the thing that people do when there's something about the dynamic of having this type of microphone and on headphones that's similar to like a conversation with a friend on a good telephone connection. The past year, what else did we have? We moved to this house. We're in the same city, just barely outside of town. I've been having a really enjoyable time with being able to spread out a little bit more. We didn't realize how cramped we really were in that last house that we were in. We're able to stretch out a little bit. When the boys have friends over, we're finally able to be the home that Jill and I had always hoped would be where our kids' friends want to hang out. It's a lot of fun. Now, of course, it's not without its challenges. There are times when we have conflicts that need to be dealt with. But by and large, when the boys have their friends around, they're nicer even to each other most of the time. This past holiday season just came to an end. We're at the very beginning now of 2020. We're in the 20s again. The 20s now refers to the decade I live in and not the roaring 20s of the 1920s. So that's going to take some getting used to. Somebody mentioned recently in a post on Instagram, Facebook, something like that, mentioned that on legal documents and checks, and if anybody writes checks anymore, I don't, but on legal documents, we need to be signing our documents with 2020, the whole number, the whole 4-digit number for the year, because if you just abbreviate it to 20, people can tack on a number at the end and it can look like it's dated much further back. So if they were to add 16 to the end of it, it would look like it was 4 years ago, something that we haven't encountered before. Zachary turning 18 this past year. We now have an adult child at home, and that's a change. We're having to learn how to navigate that, what kinds of freedoms should be there, what kinds of, he's an adult, but he's still in school and he still lives in our home. So what kinds of things do we do with that? Jill and I both admit that we didn't handle that well when we were young adults. We didn't. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of that, but it was just not all around. It was not a good situation, but we survived. And that's the really important thing. And Zach will survive, and we hope that we can help him as much as we can. Of course, for any young adult, you can't and never could make their decisions for them, but we can always be a consultant to our kids and try and teach them the best that we can. And just know that they're adults and they got to make their own decisions. So Brian this year just turned 15. He has taken his driver's permit test a few times and is going to take that again. He has been studying hard, probably going to do that sometime soon. Ben is 12. He'll be turning 13 next June. We're beginning our countdown, going to be all those dates, and it's just 20-something months before all those things, 20 to 30, I guess the last one will happen 36 months from now, or 35 months. I don't know. But it's helpful to think of those countdowns, for me anyway, because when I think of something as being 3 years away, I think that's really low. When I think of it in a number of months, 36 months, I realize, wow, 36 months doesn't feel like that long. Only 30-something months, and I'm going to be 50. I don't feel that old. I've noticed all the time, especially with the interviews that are out there on YouTube about centenarians, people 100 years and older. They ask them quite frequently, how old do you feel? And none of them say, I feel 100 years old. Rarely do they say, I feel 100 years old. Most of them say, well, I still feel the way I did when I was 60, 70. That's one thing I didn't realize when I was younger, is that as I got older, I wasn't going to feel, with the exception of just some body starting to wear out, I don't feel that much older. And, the better I take care of my body, the more and that's probably something I'll talk about in this vlog, is the journey of health. But the more that I take care of myself, the longer I'll be enjoying life. But none of us have forever. And that's why I say the audience for this vlog isn't even born yet. They're the primary audience isn't even born yet. My great-great-great-great-grandchildren, their friends and family. And yeah, so the primary audience for this video, diary, vlog, if you're watching this right now and it's, let's see, what's some year that I'm guaranteed to not be alive anymore? 21 something. 2110. If it's 2110 and you're watching this and you're either related to me or just enjoying watching people from back in 2020 talk and talk about what life was like, then if you're watching this, then I've succeeded. And in the short run, I feel like I've succeeded because another huge reason why I want to do this is because creative people that do creative things, that paint, that dance, that play an instrument, that, write music, those, or woodworking, anything that you're using your hands and your talents to be creative, using your right-brained thinking, it's been proven that those people live longer. They live happier, longer lives. Their cognitive abilities, they're proving more and more that people that are creative and physically active, those people have much happier lives. So I'm also doing this for myself because I know that it's something I love to do, and I hope I'm inspiring other people to do what they love to do. And I hope that what we all love to do is something that is enjoyable for ourselves and enjoyable for others. I obviously, from my idea board that I have, there's a million more things that I could talk about, but I want to do 52 of these a year, once a week, and so that will be plenty of stuff to talk about. If you like this idea and you want to follow along, click the subscribe button and leave me a comment in the comments and ask me stuff that I can try to answer, or just things that you're curious about or ideas that you have for what might be fun. Because one of the things I want to do is I want to get my boys involved. And Jill and I have talked about this. We both want to get the boys involved in creative things. So we're going to do things like, up there on the shelf. No, up there. Yeah, there on the shelf. I have the book, The Dangerous Book for Boys. It's a fantastic book full of all sorts of creative ideas, and I bet you there's a lot of other things out there that we can invest our time in to do together and make little videos of them, or time lapse, or talk about them, or podcast, or maybe they'll start their own vlogs about this type of journey with their family. I don't know. Leave us some comments though. Tell us what you think. This is gonna be a fun journey. I'm sure there'll be bumps too along the way. There'll be times when it's difficult to sit down here in front of the camera and talk, because there'll be times when life is hard, because that's life. And I hope I don't hide in a cave and just not talk about this stuff when it happens. I hope that I can be genuine and vulnerable to a certain extent to encourage other people to do the same, because we know that when we have connection with people, that's when we are the most alive. So yeah, that's all I have for today, for this week. I'm hoping to put these out every Saturday, or at least every weekend, Saturday or Sunday. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're watching for the first time, thanks. So I'm excited about this community. I'm excited about all of you out there. And most of all, I'm excited about future generations, not just my own, but all future generations that want to do something creative and want to have a glimpse into way back in 2020 someday. So, thanks.